I've spent the last 5 years drowning in B2B content, and holy shit, this space is bland as hell. The buzzwords, the fake profound insights, and so much LinkedIn cringe. After helping dozens of companies stop sucking at content, I figured out a method that actually works, and I'm about to share it all with you. Alright, here's how we make sure your content isn't boring as hell. Now, it's not revolutionary at all, it's just a mixture of two frameworks. The Story Cycle framework by Park Howell, the legend of storytelling, and the FFGA framework from Rob Lennon, my dear friend. But I weaponized them both specifically for B2B content that actually makes people buy stuff. There are 6 parts to this framework, and I'm going to walk you through each one with examples to help you see the value. And also, relax. You can start this today with stuff you already have. I'll show you exactly how, plus shortcuts for people who are too busy or just too broke for the fancy version. Let's talk demographics, but forget everything business school taught you. Age and location are kindergarten level targeting that tells you absolutely nothing useful. Real demographics for content means 2 things. What do they call themselves when nobody's listening? Your customer might have CEO on LinkedIn, but inside their head they're thinking, I'm a busy as hell company owner with too much on my plate. And that is a massive difference. And second is, how do they actually consume content? Not just they use LinkedIn, but how they use it. Do they read long posts, watch videos, scroll through carousels, or just skim everything and scroll past after 2 seconds? To figure this out without hiring a research team, go to your competitors' posts and read the comments. Notice how people describe their problems, the language they use. Also check out their LinkedIn profiles and see what other content makes them tick. Second, if you absolutely have to, you can create a quick survey. Just Google Forms with 3 questions. How do you explain your job at parties? What pisses you off most about work? And where do you go when you need business advice? Send it to anyone who will answer. And method 3, which is probably my least favorite, but it is what it is, actual conversations with humans. If you already have customers, bribe them with gift cards. If not, find people in your industry and ask nicely. 5 conversations will blow your mind. In the description of this video, there's a document where I put my top 5 questions to gather all the important stuff. Once you have it all gathered, it's time to dig even deeper. The FFGA method. For every piece of content, you need to know what terrifies them, what pisses them off, what they want, and what they dream about. My favorite place to look for this is Reddit threads and niche Facebook groups. Of course, you can always ask, but we both know you don't have time for interviewing 50 people. To gather fears, find out what keeps them awake at 3 AM thinking about work. People love venting about this stuff. For frustrations, try to answer what made them want to throw their laptop last week. Everyone has laptop throwing moments. For goals, if they had a magic wand for one work problem, what would they fix? This gets them dreaming. And for aspirations, 2 years from now, they're giving a TED talk about their success. What's the topic? This reveals their ultimate fantasy. Let's say you're targeting startup founders. Most people would assume they fear running out of money and want to grow the revenue. But if you actually dig deeper, you might discover that the real fear is building something nobody actually wants. The real frustration is feeling like a complete fraud who's about to be exposed. The real goal is proof that I'm not just winging it and getting lucky, and the real aspiration being the expert people quote and respect. Also, here, the breakthrough question might be, tell me about the closest time you came to quitting. If, for example, most people mention imposter syndrome instead of money stress, that completely changes your content approach. Assumptions create content about funding and metrics. Reality creates content about confidence and validation. Look, your customers aren't sitting around waiting for a magical solution to appear. They're on a chaotic journey full of failed attempts and broken promises. If you ignore that journey, your content will never feel like you've actually listened to your customers. I map this as where they've been, so the damage, where are they now, the struggle, and where they want to go, the dream. While doing it, try to answer these 5 questions. What had they tried before that didn't work? How did that work out? What's their current process? Where do they want to be in 6 months? And what has to change to get there? This shows you the gap. A quick real example from one of my clients, a dev agency targeting SaaS founders. When researching their clients, I found out that they usually have hired offshore teams and they ghosted them. They worked with agencies that built beautiful demos that completely broke in production and wasted like 6 or 8 months on and everything up nobody wanted. Now they're stuck between doing it themselves and failing, or hiring another agency and getting burned again. Usually their current product has like, I don't know, 19 features, but 0 paying users. And where they want to go is to actually have a working software that customers use, pay for, and which is built by people who aren't afraid to tell us no when they want stupid features. A quick pro tip here. Post 2 pieces per stage per month, which gives you 6 strategic pieces that actually move people toward buying from you. I found this is the best cadence for this type of content. Answering those questions creates content that feels like you've been watching their struggle the whole time, instead of just throwing random tips. The next step separates content that gets bookmarked and forgotten from content that makes people actually do something. What terrible happens if they keep ignoring their problem? Most B2B content is all sunshine and rainbows. It's always, here is how to improve, without ever mentioning, here is what happens if you don't. Now, how do you find compelling stakes? First, mine all the industry reports you can find. McKinsey, Deloitte, Gartner, all of them love publishing the cost of doing nothing studies. Search your industry plus digital transformation, competitive disadvantage, or market disruption. Second, document your customers' horror stories. Ask them, tell me about a time this problem actually cost you money or customers or sleep. Finally, use competitive intel. See how your successful competitors create urgency. What consequences do they highlight? This works because human brains are wired to avoid pain more than seek pleasure. Let's say you're selling cybersecurity software. Your old content might be protect your business with advanced encryption. Boring as hell. After adding some stakes to it, average data breach costs $4.3 million and takes 287 days to contain. Most people that get breached go out of business within 2 years. This is the same product, same audience, but the framing is completely different. Because people finally understand what they're risking, they'll be more likely to check out your product and book a demo. But Kuba, what if my product doesn't have scary consequences? Every B2B problem has stakes if you dig. HR software. Bad employee experience equals 40% higher turnover. Replacing someone costs 50 to 200% of their salary. Project management. Failed projects waste 97 million per billion invested. Marketing tools. Poor lead quality costs companies $1,000 per unqualified lead. So, to create your stakes, you can use my formula. If you don't solve a problem in a time frame, you lose specific amount in a specific way. Like, if you don't fix your content strategy in 90 days, you'll waste $50,000 on content nobody reads. And this is backed up by Content Marketing Institute. Stakes create urgency. Urgency creates action, and action creates customers. Every customer has a specific moment when they realized, I actually need help. This is not a gradual realization. This is a specific moment where everything clicked. And this moment is content gold because your audience might be living through this exact same realization right now. But you can't just ask, when did they know they needed us? That's leading the witness, and you'll get answers. Instead, try to find out one specific day they decided something had to change. What was the last straw? How did that feel? What did they try first? Say you're selling project management software. You interview customers and find the common disruption moment. The day our biggest client threatened to fire us because we missed a deadline due to team miscommunication. Even if different people have slightly different versions, they all involve client crises caused by internal chaos. You could turn that insight into content, like the email that almost killed my agency, how we survived our biggest client crisis. This kind of content would likely perform incredibly well because everyone reading it has lived through the same nightmare. Some other examples. The day I realized Excel was killing our marketing ROI. The client call that made me question our entire sales process. The 3 a.m. panic attack that changed how we managed project. These work because your audience reads them and thinks, wow, that's what happened to me. And last piece, how do your customers know they are actually winning instead of just surviving? I am not talking features here. Talking about the moment they feel genuinely successful. To build this, you need 3 stages. Brand awareness, how you get their attention. Brand adoption, how they realize you actually work. And brand appreciation, how they know it's permanent. To find this out, first, check your support tickets if you have them. Look for the ones that say, oh, this just worked, or I can't believe this automated XYZ. Those are your adoption moments. Also, look for tickets that say, I love this, but how do I do XYZ? Those show the appreciation stage. And go through every review you've ever gotten. Highlight the specific moments or outcomes people mention. This saved me 10 hours a week. Equals appreciation. I got my first results in 2 days. Adoption. Finally, something that works. Awareness. Finally, if you record calls, go back and listen for the moment prospects' voices change. When do they go from skeptical to excited? What specific outcome or possibility made them perk up? That's your awareness victory moment. Quick example, say you're selling email marketing software. If you interviewed customers, their victory moments might be, holy 40% open rates. This automation made me 10K while I was sleeping, and I haven't thought about email marketing in months. Now, each victory becomes content and your entire content strategy has a spine. That's a cool system, right? But I want you to actually know if it works for you. So here's how to measure it. It's not easy, but hey, good marketing never is. After you develop and implement the strategy, spend the next month monitoring the engagement and the conversions. If your content has high engagement but no conversions, it means the content about stakes is too weak. If the engagement is low overall, your FFGAs are probably lacking punch. If the traffic is high, but you attract wrong people, you probably messed up the demographics. Every month, review top content for patterns. Survey new customers about their journey. Test new insights and refine based on feedback. If you want to start right away, here's what to do. Week 1, download the workbook, which is linked below, list 20 interview targets and schedule 5 actual conversations. During the week 2, complete the 6-part framework, identify 3 main content themes and plan month 1 of content. During week 3, create disruption story, write stakes content and plan 1 victory piece. And week 4, publish strategic content, track everything and adjust based on feedback. Now, don't screw this up. Don't skip interviews because you know your audience. You don't. Don't make up stakes. Find real data. Don't use generic disruption moments. Find the specific moments and never focus on features. Show transformations. Now, if you want my team to build this system for you because you're too busy to do it yourself, links in the description. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button to make my day. Thanks for watching.